Okay, yes, we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Welcome to those who have been following us, and also welcome to those who are joining us for the first time. Today's session is really an informal question and answer session, so it's going to be for the audience to guide us on what kind of questions they want us to answer. So, so I'm Buchi. For those who don't know, I'm Buchi. I was a Commonwealth Scholar 2022-2023 at the University of Leeds. And we'll be joined by a few other previous and current scholars, like my colleague, Ejiro. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Buchiba. First of all, I think this is a transport meeting because Buchi member I'm also in transportation, so we are winning. So hi everyone. Thank you, Buchi, for that introduction. About what's been going on so far. So my name is Ejo Matilda Ekoko. I'm doing a PhD in transport planning, and as Buchi likely said, we've been having series. So this is like an informal section. So if you have questions about yesterday events or about the week before, or just in general, feel free to pop on the chat. Thank you.
Yeah. Like Ejiro pointed out, this has become a transport section. So I also welcome Mabel, who was my classmate in school. Hi, Mabel.
Okay.
Hi,
Transport
Buchi.
people.
Hi, Ejiro.
Hi, transport people.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just introduce yourself, name, what you studied, brief introduction to our audience. It's nice to have you.
Transport. Transport. Maybe it's good to see you too.
Okay, so
Forever.
yeah, it's been a while. So my name is Mabel Msavi. I'm from Zambia and I was a Commonwealth Masters scholar at the University of Leeds, where I studied transport planning and engineering. That was 2022-2023.
Colleagues.
Colleagues.
Yeah, yeah. Abel, it's nice to have you on this section. So, yeah, so for
Thank
those
you.
viewing, you're all also welcome. You're in good hands. You're in very good
Transport.
hands.
Transport
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
Two very powerful scholars in our midst, including then myself,
People's mentor. Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, so today's section is just going to be question and answer. There's no topic for today. Yesterday we had a session on a statement of purpose, and we tried to break it down. We've had previous other sessions and webinars on different topics, different scholarship opportunities, the Commonwealth, the Chevening, and we have other events that will be coming up in the following weeks. So you can just stay tuned. As usual, all our sessions are live. Right, this session is live right now, but all previous sessions are available on the YouTube channel. So they are always, and immediately this session is over, it will also be posted. The recording will also be posted there, so you can always go back, take a look, come back, see what's happening. Refresh your memory if you ever get lost. And then one more, another thing I also like to say is that all the mentors you see are always very approachable. So if you would like to ask a direct question at any point, you can also reach out to us on LinkedIn. Just search for our names on LinkedIn, and you should be able to find us. Send us a DM, and we will try to attend to you. You can also join any of our various communities also by reaching out, asking us if you want to be on the WhatsApp channel or any other community. We can also help you to join that so that you can also be getting real-time information and connect with those other scholars and applicants as well. Yeah. So if you're just joining, you can just pop your name and where you're joining us from in the chat so that we know that we have an audience so that we can kick off the Q&A session. In the meantime, as we are waiting the comments, I don't know if any of my colleagues want to say anything else.
Yes. So I have something to say. So first of all, let me say hi to people on Facebook. Hi, we see you. On LinkedIn. Hi. On YouTube. Hi. So this actually happened today. So I want to get your feedback or your perspective as mentors. So someone asked me, all this mentorship you are doing, don't you have don't we have samples of people that have actually won it? Let us even know if people have actually won scholarship. That is this mentorship, is it actually fruitful? That was the ask. That is it. We need evidence that people has won it, that people have been gotten scholarship. Let's even know whether it's worth attending. So this is like someone asking. Actually asked on the general group chat. So everybody saw it and, and got my attention to it. So what do you have to say about that?
I think these sessions are very useful. So when I was applying for my scholarship, I didn't do it alone. I had a community of people that some I know, but others I never knew. So I would watch webinars like this. I would go to YouTube, just look for like advice on how to draft the essays, the personal statement. And for the Commonwealth, I think the Alumni Association in Zambia, they would also hold webinars where they explain the whole application process, how to draft the different essays, how to answer the questions. And that's what really helped me because I could understand the expectations of the Commonwealth, like when they're reviewing the essays and who they award the scholarship to. And all three of us here have been recipients of scholarships. So this stuff does work. It's not just a publicity stunt or something we do for fun. It does actually work.
Because when they asked me the question, I'm like, thank you. I didn't even know what to say because it was like a public. No one's going to ask something in the public of
Yeah.
people in a group are like, okay. So maybe we'll start doing testimony of people that won scholarship. Maybe so they'll think it's real. I mean, so they will know it's real because actually it is. It's sad that some people think we are just doing marketing strategy.
Well, I don't know what other kind of testimonial people want. Me, I myself I'm a testimonial because that's how I also came about. Maybe I'll just share my story while we're also waiting. Maybe that will make more
Yeah.
sense in answering that question. Yeah. So I know I got the scholarship in 2022/2023. Not so long ago. But I started applying for scholarships as far back as 2020 during the COVID-19 lockdown years. And I was hitting roadblocks, dead ends. What we call the rejection mails were flooding my inbox. I know that if I go to my email address and I go to the search panel and I type unfortunately, I know the litany of emails that I'm going to see that are going to
Yeah.
pop up. I refuse to archive most of them so that I can always go back and look at them. But I just know once I just type unfortunately, my inbox is going to have a lot of things to search. And then I can even break down the unfortunately into different categories as well. And I also have my application folder that lists all the applications that I did. Because every time I do an application online, if it's an online form I'm submitting, before I submit, I always print the page and save it so that I can be sure of what the details I submitted. And so that if I need to fill those details again, I can just be doing copy paste, that kind of thing. Yeah, but what am I driving at? 2020, not a good year. 2021 came into 2021, mixed feelings. Are you sure this is going to work? Are you sure it's not going to work? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? But the thing is, I think from late 2020, I started realizing that the concept of the whole scholarship thing is not based on what it's not based on what you've learned in school. So it's not like when you finish the first semester and you're taking first semester exams to jump to the next level. So they are assessing you based on what you've learned in first semester. So, it's not based on what you've studied in undergrad that they are going to start assessing you to give you a postgraduate scholarship or stuff like that. There are other ingredients that are supposed to come in, but I didn't know that at the initial point. It was when I started, going on Facebook, searching for different connections and different places to log in, connect with this person, connect with that person. I stumbled upon some Telegram groups stumbled upon some WhatsApp groups, and part of my routine, daily routine, would always be to read through messages, filter out data, And then one day I saw a webinar link, just like this one. I said, okay, I'm going to join, and I clicked in, and they were talking about how to successfully apply for the scholarship, the different essays, what they mean. Then I was like, oh, really? Oh, wow. And the next time I went for a webinar like that, I went with my old, because I had applied for Commonwealth Scholarship for 2021, which I did not get. So I used to take my old essays. I'll just have them on the screen while I'm listening to the webinar. When someone says something like this, I go and read what I've written before. And then I shake my head. I'm like, oh, no, this is way off. This is way off the mark. So I have to come back again. Okay, what did this person say? I jot down some notes. Yeah. If you met my sister back then, she always knows that whenever everyone's going to bed, it's always good night, and his buchi and his laptop typing what they don't know. But that's the way it was. I was always on the but like, you stress your eyes, I'm like, yeah, don't worry, I'll soon go to bed, and I'll be there for the next 2 hours sifting through information and stuff. But when I started attending virtual webinars like this, and then I got a hold of some YouTube channels as well, where they either interview current scholars or they have a panel that people come and discuss those requirements of the scholarship body and so on and so forth. It began to make more sense. And because the Commonwealth window had closed by then, because when you want to apply for 2021, you apply in 2020, and when you want to apply for 2022, you apply in 2021, and that's the way it goes. So because the window had closed, I was now using all those different. I was now, anytime there's an opportunity, I just plug into that one, try to understand what's going on, try to apply what I had, the information I had gathered, plug everything in. And then that's how I got my big folders with all the unfortunate lists that were coming down. But at every point, after every application, I began to notice that the what do you call it? The condition of my application was getting better. And there are some applications I make, and I know this application was not a very good one. You're not going to get it, because I already know in the back of my mind what I was supposed to know. But maybe it was already too late. The deadline was already very close, and I didn't have time to put it all together. But that didn't stop me from applying anyway. But then it's helped to, like, application skills. Because now that application itself is now a skill. It's to help you hone your application skills. And then you get to so when I submitted the Commonwealth application for 2022, which was in November 2021, I guess, yeah. In my mind, I was confident of what I was submitting. I knew, yes, I had submitted a good application. No one reviewed my essays for me. When I submitted those essays, I was confident that I had written something good. I tried to get people to review my essays.
Can you just balance it? Call my name. I was part of people. Balance the story. I don't like to lie. Just balance. Let them know, because it was not intentional. So let them know. So tell them it's fine. Say.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's good that you're back, because your webinars was one of the webinars that I attended.
Oh my God! Thank you.
Yeah. I found it on Telegram. I found it on Telegram. I saw the flyer on Telegram. There was a link to join the Telegram group. I joined the Telegram group. Then I went to look for your name in the list of contacts, and then I sent you a message. That's how we connected first. You may not remember, because I'm sure you are getting thousands of messages back then.
Yeah, truth be told, you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because I know there's some messages that I have gotten now. Somebody will message me maybe a few months from now, and I'll be like, oh, really? Okay. You try to cover that you remember the person, but in truth, you actually do not, because a lot of messages actually do come in. Yeah. But like Edro was saying, I asked her and a few others to review my essays. Everyone was so busy. Nobody got around to helping me review my essays. So I sent my essays to some of my friends who don't even know what's happening in scholarship field. I told them, from a layman's perspective, what I've written, does it make any sense to you? Do you understand the story that is being told? And then they had to come and they, some people gave me feedback, some people gave grammatical feedback, some people gave contextual feedback, some people, and then some of them will ask you some questions about what you're explaining that you think you've made it very clear, but it's not very clear, even from someone that doesn't understand what the scholarship is about. But because the person is reading your essays and trying to understand the idea, trying to pass across, that's a question here to indicate that, oh, this paragraph might need touching up. So I did that. I think about 5 or 6 of my friends helped me do that. Put all their feedback together, rebranded everything, pressed the submit button. I went into serious praying and fasting.
Very
The
funny.
waiting period. The waiting period is is a difficult period. You continue, you'll be refreshing your inbox and refreshing your inbox and refreshing your inbox and checking your spam folder and checking your spam folder. I didn't have to check emails until I started doing all these applications. Once I press submit, then you start checking the emails. And then sometimes you see the email, you see a reply email from those people you're expecting. And you think you want to open the email, but you also calm down. What if it's not a good reply? And then you begin to should I open the email? Should I not? And then eventually, you open the email and you might see, thank you for your application. Once you see the email starting with thank you, unfortunately it's waiting somewhere.
Yeah.
Once you say what the yes you're looking for, we usually start with I'm glad to announce, or I'm happy to announce. Then yes, you've gotten the response you're looking for. But whenever you see that thank you, like you read at some point, you won't even want to finish reading the email, you close it. Some people provide feedback, some people do not. So yeah, but the whole point is when you attend this kind of sessions and you listen to other people talk about these things and you combine their different ideas and their different insights together, it plays a role in your application. So Ejiro, anytime anyone asks you for testimonials, just send the person to me.
Okay, so speaking about testimonial, so I got a message on LinkedIn. One of the viewers, name is Charles. He said he wants to share his testimony live. So I've sent him a hi on his DM because I happen to know him. Okay, so he's actually doing his PhD now. So Charles, if you're still watching, I've sent you a DM. You can reply so I can send you the link to come live and share. So because it's good people know that this is useful. So while we await your questions, like I said, this today episode or section is dynamic. So it's whatever questions you have. But right now we're having testimonials, so that's still okay. But I want to recognize people that are dropping their names. So Christina from Nigeria, hi to you. Abiola, hi to you. Ben Fulham, now Ben is so he's in our field, transportation. So Ben, thank you so much for watching my program and our program. And funny enough, he's into transport, Buchi is into transport. So all of us here are all transport people. So Ben, thank you for watching. We appreciate that. Thank you for knowing our good work. Thank you so much. So back
Thank
to
you, Ben.
Yeah. Okay, so Buchi, we were saying, go on.
Yeah, I was saying that if people need any testimonials, you can just send them my way. I'm always happy to share my story because it was a difficult time. It's a difficult application. Is not it's not an exact science anyway, but it's also very dynamic. It can be emotional. There's a roller coaster. Maybe I'm sure you had something similar as well.
I did. So I think I can share my experience as well.
Okay, please go on.
Yeah, and I think it helps when you have a good support system. Maybe that friend who will just tell you to read and write when you feel like quitting. For me, that was my sister mostly. It wasn't easy when I was applying for this scholarship, and sometimes I'll just be like, you know what? I think I'll try again next year because right now, I don't think I'll manage. And she just be like, no, you've got this. Just continue. You're on the right path. And lucky enough, her friend was a previous scholar, so she offered to review my essays. So it was now up to me to make sure, at least as I'm giving someone to review my essays, I've done my research. And she gave me a very good perspective because she would see things that I couldn't see because she had been through that process before. And like in these WhatsApp groups or Telegrams, A number of people have approached me to review their essays,
Thank
and
you.
I have. And, hopefully they will be successful at the end of the day. Maybe not now, but maybe in the following year. But having gone through this, you're able to see, and it's difficult when you've never gotten a scholarship because you don't know, like, what do they expect? Maybe your English isn't so good. As Buchi was saying, like, it's a skill to be able to apply for a scholarship because you have to put your ideas together in such a way that they make sense to whoever is reviewing your essay. You're trying to convince them that it's important that I do this, and you need to pay for me. And that's not such an easy thing. You may have the right content, but if you don't know how to draft it well, then it may work against you. So, yeah, I would really encourage anyone out there who wants a scholarship to watch these webinars because, as Buchi said, sometimes you're not able to have someone review your essay. But when you have people who've been through it talk about what to do and what not to do, you can use it as a guideline or as a checklist to see whether or not you're on the right track. And that's what really helped me. Even just when applying for admission at Leeds, it's highly competitive, but having
Yeah.
watched webinars where people talk about what to put in your personal statement, it really helped me draft good personal statements that secured me admission in most of the schools that I applied to.
Yeah, maybe very, very important points there. Even
Yeah.
even some people don't even know how competitive it might be. Most of the time, most people are good, but when something is
Yeah.
competitive, you need to stand out.
Yeah.
And
You
this,
need
What's
to
that
stand
small
out.
thing? Yeah, that makes
yeah,
you stand out.
yeah, and you need to, and it's when you listen to people talk. Something that you may even have. What do you call it? I'll call it the golden ticket that's going to
Yeah.
get you that application, but you don't even know that you have the ticket. It's when someone
Yeah.
says makes a particular point, you just be like, oh, wait, I have this type of experience. I've done something like this. Could I actually include it in my
Yes.
application? I didn't know. And then you go, and then it might be that is that sentence or that paragraph that came out of that idea that's going to be what's going to change the game in your favor. You may never know.
Yeah.
Because some people think that some things are too small. You may think that something you did in your community or something that you did in your family, your extended family, or your nuclear family does not play a particular role. But there are different skills that you pick up from. If you're a first child, there's a skill that comes with being a first child and taking care of your younger siblings, and you may not even know how to project that into your applications until you hear people talk about things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Just please go on. Go on.
okay, yeah. So I just wanted to say, just like Mabel said, that her sister was her support system. When the
Yeah.
sister is making an application, she can cite that experience of supporting her sister
Yeah.
Exactly.
as an experience.
Exactly.
It is. It is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
At
that
times
support has yielded fruit,
yeah, at times we are so how like for lack of a better word, maybe we just think that it's only one way. Any other way is wrong or we don't know. But when you're not when you hear different people speaking, then you understand. At times the people get mentorship one on one. People get it from what's it called? Online videos. People get it from even your peers, your colleagues, your relations. Somebody can read your essay that doesn't know much, but will understand it and just give you one thing that can make the difference. So don't downplay anything. When you come for this section, you get to get exposure, learn a lot of things. So now we have with us Charles. He wants to share his testimony. No, this is so fun because we thought there would be a Q&A section, but now we have testimony. Somebody asked us, oh, okay, he just left again. Okay, hopefully he joins back.
I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah.
back. So just to quickly say this, from Isaac from Tanzania, hello to you. Blandina from Malawi, hi to you too. So I think we should just take a question now while we wait for Charles to come in. Yeah. So
Oh,
thank
okay.
you for joining us from the diverse countries. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you. Okay, he's back. Should we let's start with Charles? What do you think? Or should we just go on?
Yeah, let's have Charles since he's
We
here
can start
now.
with Charles and
Hi,
then
Charles. Good to put a face to the name.
Hello.
Finally.
Yeah. So sorry, I traveled to South Africa, so I just arrived here and I
Oh,
found the program very interesting. I said, okay, let me talk finally to Lady Ijiro. I mean, we've known each other like for, is it 3 or 4 years? And I mean, just chatting on LinkedIn. And I said, one day I'm going to meet this powerful lady.
thank you.
And
Thank
you've been doing a lot of groundbreaking impact work in terms of academics and scholarship opportunities, of which I really appreciate. Why? Because I share with you the same work, and I think those are the things I've been doing as well from the side of Cameroon.
Yeah.
So I'm a Cameroonian, Charles, and the founder of Foster Green. Foster Green is just about empowering entrepreneurs to be green conscious, to be conscious of the environment so they can expand the scope of their financial opportunities. So I've been a Commonwealth scholar as well. And apart from that, I've been trying other scholarship opportunities before then. So maybe in sharing my testimony, I would like to rather put it this way, not even testimony, but rather giving hopes to potential applicants. And so things that I applied for the Chevening Scholarship the very first time, that was in 2018, where my very first application, I was shortlisted for an interview, and I went for the interview. I discovered how tough Chevening was. I mean, sometimes writing the essay is a different war, interview is something else. So I learned my lessons from there. And in 2019, I was still shortlisted and I was placed on a reserve. And that same year, I had a reserve with Commonwealth Shared, Commonwealth Masters. Like I had about 5 scholarships, all on reserve. You can imagine. So, and
What
none
is
of it,
painful? It is
yeah.
painful.
So I was not upgraded for any of them. So this is just to let you know that it wasn't all about writing the essays, but being shortlisted, being selected on reserve, and then not being upgraded, but still having that conviction that I will get this one day. So it was in 2020 where I had this confusion of even what to choose, because by then I could write my essays with certainty, and then I actually knew how to tell my story convincingly. And I understood that it's not all about sharing your story, but making you stand out unique and very particular. For example, I always say this to those that come from different backgrounds and trying to maybe change career or change field of studies. Well, I've been a teacher like for the past 12 years where I teach economics. And my interest area was entrepreneurship. So while applying, I remember I spoke to a Commonwealth alumni in the UK that I wanted to apply for a master's in entrepreneurship. And she told me, well, it's good, but when I look at the curriculum, it says this program is for those that are startups, those that have businesses already. And this is to enrich them to become successful entrepreneurs. And I told the lady, yes, but these entrepreneurs are being taught by teachers. And I believe that instead of giving somebody fish, rather teach the person how to fish. So, I, being a teacher, I believe that I have the potential of sharing the knowledge to several aspiring entrepreneurs. And in this way, that is when the lady said, oh, that is a very strong story. And I would like you to mention that in your essay. So, in that saying, when I was writing my essay, I believe that while writing your essay, you should be very honest with what you intend to do. Sometimes, even your undergrads could have, you could score maybe just an average or not like a first class or second class upper. There are spaces where you can tell that story. Okay, let me give an example again. In my essay, I studied in a university in Cameroon where majority of our courses were being taught in the French language. Just 20% of it was in English, while 80% was in French. So in my essay, I mentioned that my undergrad, I scored this, which is just like a pass with regards to the UK, but I was among the top 10% in my batch. Why? Because I had this language challenge. And secondly, I have been a teacher that developed interest in entrepreneurship, and during that, I have been able to impact this number of entrepreneurs. I believe that giving me this opportunity to join the Henley Business School that was in University of Reading and studying entrepreneurship, I can be able to teach students, develop curriculum that can impact other aspiring entrepreneurs that will have a greater impact at the level of Africa instead of just selecting someone that has an already existing business that may end up employing just 2 to 3 people. And those are some of the things you tell in your story that shows how realistic you intend to create an impact within your community. So many people used to tell me, no, your undergrad, your performance was not too good. You are not even from the same background. But when you tell your story, people read it and are actually convinced and say, okay, let's try with this person. So in the year 2020, I got the Commonwealth Masters. I got the Chevening. I got the VLI scholarship in Belgium. And I don't know if we know about VLI. And I was on shortlisted. I was on the reserve for about 3 Commonwealth shared scholarships as well. So I went for the Commonwealth Masters. I returned back home and registered the organization Foster Green. Then now I'm back in the UK doing a PhD in area of climate change finance and entrepreneurship development. So I think that has been my story, and the knowledge behind this is that we should just be resilient in the application process. Even if you fail this year, you should try to find out the reasons why you were unable to make it, and then tap into those that made it in previous years, read other essays, and then try to make your essay to be coherent. Some people try to just complicate their essays with very high vocabulary, and they try to be very strict with the language. Like if you're from a physics background, write an essay that someone from a literature background can read and understand. Sometimes, maybe when I'm reviewing someone's essay, I tell the person, but what does this mean? What does this one mean? What does it? The person will say, but it's just that you are not even from the health background. Is that you are not from this? That's why you cannot understand me. Already, this is to make you know that your essay is a little bit complicated. It has to be written to an audience that anybody can understand easily. Like, so those are some of the things. Whatever you're writing, make it sound as if you were trying to convince your own parents or your grandmother to understand your story. In that way, you'll be able to capture external minds. Thank you so much.
So thank you for sharing your story. That's amazing. It's good to, like I said, put a face to the name. Okay, so in essence, I believe you're saying that mentorship, mentoring, and webinars have been very helpful, because that was a question on play.
Oh, okay, yes. And yeah, Ejiro, I must say that I've attended a lot of your mentoring programs. I would, you remember I wrote a lot of mails to you on LinkedIn. Sometimes I'll ask you, can I send my essays to you? Can I do this? Or if I'm selected. Yes, you say no. In short, you've been always busy. You tell me, okay, can you just join one of my programs online when I'm connected. And sometimes you tell me, "Oh, Charles, I could help, but honestly, I'm really busy." I mean, there was a time when I was asking you when I was completing my masters in the UK that how come you just switch from masters directly to PhD? Can I apply as well? You said, well, try your best. And I mean, because even the PhD program I'm doing right now, I got my PhD while still studying my masters, because before coming to the UK, I previously had two masters. So immediately I arrived the UK, I got an admission for my PhD even before completing my masters. So I think the webinars have been very helpful and very enriching as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And it's good to have you. If you want to stay for the rest of the show, please stay. If you want to leave, feel free. It's a choice. But thank you so much for sharing that great story. And to all our audiences on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So you've heard it. It's helpful. Actually, I haven't got some messages on WhatsApp. People saying it's actually helpful. So, but I can't post WhatsApp messages here. So, but please, it's
Okay.
helpful. So thank you so much. And Buchi, maybe do you want to add to that before we take the questions on the group chat on the chat?
Well, yeah, I just want to say hi to Charles as as
Oh,
someone who was also on a reserve list. You know,
Yeah. Reserve list is the worst place to be. I mean, at every moment you keep asking questions, and you disturb people. You ask and ask. Sometimes you even go to the extent of asking to your own parents that, "Do you think I'll be upgraded?" As if they are the ones that have the power to do so. So I think we have all the time to work very hard and get the right materials, not to even fall on a reserve list, rather to be I mean, to be selected without considering being on a reserve list. So and that is it. Just try to get engaged with webinars and ask questions, contact people privately to have a review, and sometimes be very patient and give a listening ear to those that review your essays. It's not compulsory for you to take everything they tell you. It's just left for
yeah.
you to evaluate to see how good it suits what you intend to do, and then you go for it. So that is it, because there is this aspect of mentor-mentee relationship. Maybe I would like to stress about, where some mentees just contact their mentors at any moment, anytime. I always advise those that intend to apply to know your mentor. Sometimes ask, like, "What do you do? When are you free?" So that you can know exactly when to contact them. You can know how to schedule for meetings. There are people where you review their essays and send feedback. They never get back to you. And some of them get back to you immediately, like 30 minutes later, that, "Okay, I've seen what you just wrote. I've edited it. Can you still go through?" It's like the person that your mentor is a full-time worker working for you. No, we need to be considerate and then try to adjust our programs. And I'll also advise the mentees to make sure that you schedule meetings with your mentor, because at the end of the day, everything is for your own good.
Okay. Thank you so much, Charles. So I think you really have a lot to say. Possibly we can bring you on the show as a speaker because I believe you have a lot to say. So
Yeah,
thank you
yeah,
so
yeah.
much. So
There's
I'll
a
work
lot in
towards
store.
that. I'll work towards. I'll bring you up to the show, maybe possibly sometime next month to come and speak because you can actually tell people a lot of things. So that's great. So thank you. So we have a question on the chat. So back to Buchi, which is our host for today. So yeah.
yeah. So we have a question on the chat. Question says, "Can someone with 2.9 GPA be qualified for master's scholarship?" And just to before everyone else contributes, let me just say I was happy when Charles was speaking and he spoke about the quality of your undergraduate not being a barrier to pursuing a scholarship
Yeah.
and a postgraduate degree. And so that is the simple answer to the question. Someone with 2.9 GPA can be qualified for a master's scholarship. A master's scholarship is not solely dependent on academic performance, previous academic performance. And if we are being sincere, if you have a 2.9 GPA and you want to pursue a master's degree, like I always tell people, you don't pursue a postgraduate degree for the sake of a postgraduate degree. There has to be a strong why standing behind you and the postgraduate degree. If not, the truth is you get frustrated why undertaking the degree. If your why is not very strong, it's not easy to do a master's, to do a PhD. It's not easy. You know, undergraduates. I'm not saying undergraduate is easy, but undergraduate is there's some flexibility when you are taking an undergraduate degree that allows you some kind of room, and you have less is expected of you in terms of output than when you're undertaking a postgraduate degree. So if you have a strong reason why you're undertaking this degree, it's going to help you to push through. And that reason is also what's going to help you to land a scholarship, if we are being sincere. With the 2.9 GPA, there's a lot of things you can say about the story behind the 2.9 GPA that's going to make you to go ahead of those with 4.0 or 4.5. Because there might be something that the reason for this 2.9 GPA, there might be other things you've done to augment the GPA. Some people went to school and they had series of different challenges. I
Yeah,
think I've
yeah,
heard someone's story. The person was pursuing an MSc in a health-related field, and it's because the person herself suffered from a health challenge, and that health challenge also affected her undergraduate studies, and that is why her undergraduate degree was not so strong. And then it was part of the application that this is the reason why she wants to pursue this degree. She suffered from this challenge. It caused her a lot of both physical and mental stress while in school, leading to poor performance. But she has worked in this field or worked in that field, got this experience, got that experience, and believes that if she does this additional degree to top off her qualifications, she can contribute to the problem, sorry, to the solution to the problem, so that other people going through this kind of health challenge will not also suffer the kind of problems that she suffered. She will be able to evaluate the kind of mitigation measures or assistance that institutions can provide for students going through those type of things. Those are some of the points that came out of it. I'm just giving someone's backstory. So those are the kind of things that come together to make a wholesome application. In terms of things like eligibility, there might be some scholarships that have a minimum GPA eligibility. So that might be a place, some of the things you can consider. So you can check if a scholarship is say has a minimum GPA of 3.5, 4.0, those kind of things. You should know that you are less likely to get this if you apply. It might not stop you from applying because there are always exceptional cases when uh, criteria are set. There are always exceptional cases. It always depends on the background of the criteria itself. But you may not know this as an applicant, but you know that your chances are lower here. But there are always scholarships that do not consider GPA as something to be highly weighted. There are ones that prefer more people with a particular background experience in the work environment, or a background experience in volunteering, or they are more interested in people that have the potential for leadership, because you can have a low GPA, but you headed a lot of organizations while you were in school. That can be the deciding factor. So the whole point is that it is possible. You just need to understand what maybe the nitty-gritty of the application process, and that is why we have this type of sessions. So when you are making an application, you look through the details, look through the criteria, understand the background of the scholarship, understand your own personal background, marry all these details together, and you possibly get a good application that is going to soar higher than people that may have better GPS than you. The GPA is not the deciding factor of your future. So I think that's the summary of what I'm trying to say. Don't know if anybody else wants to contribute. Uh, all of you look like you have something to say. So let me start with Mabel.
Yeah, so I think I just want to agree with what Bushi has said. The GPA alone will not qualify or disqualify you from a scholarship. So, especially for those where they don't explicitly say we only want people, we say a minimum of 4 GPA. Just go ahead and apply. And what Charles was saying, tell your story. There could be a particular reason why you don't have that high GPA. So explain that, use your leadership experience, your volunteering experience, and any other type of experience that shows that you're someone that can create an impact in your community. Because, like the Commonwealth Scholarship, that's what it is mostly about. They want you to tell them your why. I want to study this because it's going to help me create this positive impact in my community. It could be transport, it could be health related, it could be entrepreneurship, it could be finance. So you just need to be able to tell your story and draw on your experiences. I think some things that I talked about in my essays, initially I would think, well, maybe this isn't really important, but you just put everything in there because it makes you who you are. And everything that you do, for example, in school, the extracurricular activities, whether you realize it or not, you learn so much from them. If you're doing volunteering work, it doesn't matter what kind of work it is, but it teaches you skills that no one will teach you in the classroom. And I think that's what will set you apart. Like, what are you able to do that you've sort of gone out of your way to learn for yourself, that your lecturer or your teacher hasn't told you in class to say x plus y is equal to this. And you've just decided, okay, I want to do this. I want to help my community. I want to help someone. The way Ejiro came up with these webinars, I believe no one is paying her to do this. And so if she's applying for something else, she'll say, oh, I've been doing this because I believe it's going to create an impact in different communities, globally. There are so many people that join these webinars. And from this, someone will get a scholarship and they're going to create an impact in their country. So it's up to you to get your experiences and write them in such a way that they show the passion that you have and the commitment that you have to creating a positive change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's really great. Sorry. It's one.
Yeah, thank you, Mabel.
Yeah.
That was very insightful. Israel, do you want to go next? So we
Oh
come
no,
back to
no.
Chima.
No, nothing. Yeah, I think go to class. I need to take water. My voice.
Ah, yeah, so I think, like I said before, I really can't agree more to what my other, would I say, colleagues or presenters said. But it's all about not it's all about being able to demonstrate your ability in identifying issues, identifying problems in the past, and then the initiatives you take to tackle those problems, even if you succeeded or not, but the lessons you learn or the results you obtained. So that is a strong leadership demonstration, because as we talk of why, like last year when I was going through some essays, you see people from the initial part of an essay, they tell you a problem, and at the end of the day, the reason why they are going for studies is completely different to solutions that will be provided for those initially identified problems. So it makes you go completely out of topic, meaning that whatever you're writing, there should be that coherency from start to end. There should be that coherency for you to be able to say, these are the problems I've seen, and these are the little things I've done, these are the lessons I've learned, and these are the things I believe this program is going to help me with in finding a solution to these problems. So it's just all about demonstrating your ability to identify problems and your contributions to those problems. So I just think that is it. To tell your story. Okay, I think the question was all about GPA, right? Like I said before, that your GPA doesn't really matter. Sometimes they will tell you we need a student with first class or upper second class. Yes, but there are always times when you have to say something. I wouldn't say you should come in with an example like, my undergraduate, I performed very badly. No, you should say other things like, during undergraduate, I did this, and this, and maybe the department was a new one, or I was new to this department, or maybe because of lack of this, or lack of laboratories, or lack of practicals, I wasn't able to perform to top notch. So that you use that weakness to demonstrate that your program in the UK has the laboratories, it has this, it has that. This is will be an opportunity for me to strive, because even the results I obtained back home that gave me this 2 point something was a very good one with respect to comparatively to my other peers or colleagues. So if there is always a way to demonstrate that, not just bringing out your weaknesses, no, bringing these weaknesses linked to other things beyond your control.
Okay, so let me add to that, and thank you so much, Mabel and Charles. Now the thing is, there's now nobody's asking to have a low GP. Yeah, I think that's grade point average. In case you don't know what GPA means, is grade point average. You know, as lecturers, we like defining things. Grade point average. Now, the thing is this, please. As much as nobody's encouraging you to not to work hard, please work hard. But like Bichi said, there are some circumstances beyond your control. So that is why you should not just rely only on your GPA. Get experiences, take courses, volunteer. Now, I'm sorry to say this, but most people don't like volunteering. They just want someone that pays them. Now, if you get volunteering that pays you, that's amazing. But if you don't, volunteer and get the exposure, the experience. Okay, now maybe I mention this platform. Nobody's paying me. Rather, I pay to host this webinar every month. I pay like StreamYard because I'm hosting via YouTube, um, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So it's taking money from me, but I'm getting experience. I know how to get speakers. I know how to. I'm learning, and I can use this to get opportunities in the future. So if you get volunteering opportunities that pays you, that's amazing. But if you don't, go and learn, so that when you're applying for things, you can compete with your degree, compete with other things you have done. The whole package makes you competitive. So please go and volunteer, go and take courses, go out there and do something. Yeah, thank you. Bichi, please go over to you. Oh, one more thing, Bichi. So this is my this is my colleague. She's also my mentor, my senior colleague in school. Hi, Dr. Chinebelu. Thank you so much. She's also from my school photo. So yes, hi. Okay, Bichi, go over to you. I need to recognize my seniors. Thank you so much, Dr. Ozondo. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good one. Yeah, so I think the summary of the GPA point is you have a GPA, add other things to that. Even if you have a great GPA, add other
Yeah.
things to it as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Because when your first class is good though, but you need all that
It's not,
to support
it's not
the
enough
class.
on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say, Mabel?
Yeah, I think Mabel said a GPA is not enough on its
I was
own,
saying,
no matter how
Oh
good
my
it is.
God. Yeah.
it's not enough on its own. You can have a 5 GPA, everything 100%, but you need to add something extra to it.
Yeah. No, that's true. And just on the side note, there was one time I applied for one like a job like that, and they told me that the reason why they wanted me was because of my skills from hosting webinars. That's the skill they need for the job. So it's so no skill, no, seriously. No skill is wasted. So please go and volunteer, go out there. Please, 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 please. I've been speaking to some people to volunteer to help us because, like I said, I need volunteers to help in these webinars and stuff like that. And they don't want to give, but they want to collect. They want to mentorship, but they don't want to help. You need to go out and help so that other people can learn. If I'm keeping this webinar just on a low key and not putting it out there, people can benefit from it. So then go and give back. Go and volunteer. I think I should stop there. Sorry, before I take it too far, which is up to you now.
No. I think is a point that actually needs to be stressed actually, because
Okay, let's stress.
people
Yeah.
don't understand the power of volunteering, or it's not something that is common in our
Yeah.
society. I can understand why everybody wants to get paid, everybody wants to improve their financial standing. But in the odd case that you don't have that opportunity, it's good Because sometimes you might want to develop some certain skills or work in some certain areas and you don't get the paid job. Nothing stops you from going to say you want to volunteer to work in that field, part-time, some few days a week, whatever it is, because that experience that you want to get, you still get it from there. And volunteering experience is also added to your CV, it's part of your profile. So it doesn't
Thank
take
you.
that much away from you. It's
Thank you.
you may not be paid, yes, but in the long run, especially if you're a very young person,
Excuse you. Excuse you. What about what people? Excuse you. No, no. Keep that age to one
I'm,
side.
I'm
Let
just
the
saying,
balance.
especially if you're a very young person,
Yeah.
the earlier you pad
Start.
off your
Yeah.
portfolio, it's
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
because you get
Mhm.
skills early. The opportunities
Yeah.
open up for you early, and
Yeah.
in the long run, you be able to maximize those opportunities.
You know, but you sorry to chip in this. Maybe in the future we'll have sections on volunteering because some people don't know how to volunteer. Let's be fair, they don't know how to. They think it must be a beauty company, so we can do a section on that: how to volunteer, how to recognize volunteering opportunities. But at the same time, I want to also mention one benefit. Now, if I didn't volunteer to host webinars, I wouldn't have met Bucci. Are you seeing it? Now, volunteering expanded my network. Now I know Bucci. So that's how life is. So just take the step, volunteer. You can never tell where it takes you to. Okay, I think we lost Mabel and Charles. So let's
Yeah,
next.
I think
Yeah,
we have the next question, so let's quickly go to that. How
yeah.
can one ably present the career plans or goals in the personal statement? Hmm, interesting question.
I think this question is quite open because we don't know what scholarship. But okay, we can answer from any perspective and just let's
Yeah,
see.
I think
Yeah.
the first thing I'll say is we had a session on statement of purpose and personal statement yesterday.
Let me get the
That
link up.
might be a good starting point because we did like a general overview of things that should be included and how to present them and stuff like that.
Yeah, we
So
did.
studying that might just give you more perspective than the answers we're going to give now. So I think Jerome may
I'll
put
put
the
up the
link
link.
to
So
that.
just
Yeah,
go on. I'll put a link here.
yeah.
Let me
But
search for the link.
to try to tackle the question directly, uh, to present. So in this case, I'm not going to talk about how do you put it, the grammatical lexion and structure about how to write the SOP, but maybe how to succinctly articulate your points. First things first is you don't need to have all the details of what you want to do immediately. So, and nothing you write in your personal statement is set in stone. Your goals can change. So you need to appreciate that while writing, that this is where you are at this point in time. With more information, more experience, more knowledge, your goals and your plans can evolve. So don't try to build Rome in a day. You write based on what you understand at the particular point in time. Depend on the course you want to take or the opportunities you are looking for. That is what's going to define your career plan. But the most important thing is to provide a link between uh, the why. The why is always very important for me. So if you have a reason why you're doing this postgraduate degree, that is the most important thing. So if you have a why, you want to do it because you want to solve this problem, you want to assist in this area, then the career plans and the career goals that you're going to articulate in your personal statement will be in line with that. I think that was one of the points Charles made, that you've identified a problem in the beginning of your statement, and at the end, the reason why you're giving for is now different from that. It has to come together. So if you're saying that this is the problem, this is the course you want to study, these are the skills that the course is going to give you, those skills, those experiences, that problem you want to solve, that is the direction that your career plans and goals will be heading in. And now the thing is this, it is dynamic in the way you provide a solution to a problem. I'm trying to think of a very good example. Okay, yeah, let me use something that we've talked about today, the entrepreneurship that Charles talked about. They designed a course for entrepreneurs. If you already have a startup or you have a business that you've started and they are telling you to come and learn more skills. And Charles is going as a teacher to get those skills to teach others. Now, when you're drafting things like your career plans or your goals or what you see yourself doing in the future, even if you say you're learning this to teach others, the way in which you're going to teach others is also going to be dynamic. You can teach others by using social media. You can teach others by being in full-time employment as a teacher in a formal institution. You can teach others by creating online courses, virtual courses. You can teach others by providing one-on-one learning sessions, mentorship sessions. So these are different ways you can apply whatever skills are coming. And you need to think about the one that fits best into your story and your personality and what you think you want to do. There's no right answer per se, but you also need to consider the fact that if you're telling a whole story, there has to be a connection between the past and the present, a subtle connection, something that you've done before. If Ejiro is writing an essay and one of her career goals would be to host talks about transport on national TV,
That's
on national TV. She has studied transportation in school. She's doing a PhD in transportation. She's studying a lot of things. She's hosting webinars here. If you combine all that together, she tells you that she wants to have talks about transportation issues on national TV. You can, from your point of view, you've seen she's already hosting webinars, even though the webinars have different topics. And she's studying the transportation. But when she now tells you that this is her career goal, or she wants to found the TV network that talks about issues.
Yes, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Keep saying it.
So, as a reader, it's not far-fetched. It's not something that I say is impossible because she's doing it on YouTube. She's studying the transport. She's doing the. So all that comes together, and she says these are her career goals. I say yes, it's a very good career goal. And then she now goes further to say this is the target audience. These are the impacts that are going to come out of it down the line. This is why it's very important to do this type of thing. Even if nobody else has done it before, or even if other people are already doing it, it doesn't really matter. It is your own personal story. That's why it's called a personal statement. So it's just left for you to articulate it the way that it makes the most sense, and it's easy for the reader to understand what you're saying. Don't be very technical. Don't try to fit into any kind of boxes that you don't understand. Just be practical and be realistic in your stories, but make them to be things that you know how practically they can be achieved. Don't say something that you don't understand, because when you start talking about things you don't understand, even the reader is also not understanding. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Which is something else. But anyway, thank you for the promotion. I was like, just say it. Hosting my transport talk, say it. Have my TV network, please say it. But on a more serious note, you are very correct. Because when you want to know where someone is going to, look at what they've done. Okay, at this person have an idea. So you're correct. No, I didn't really see that part, but Buchi, I told you you're the people's mentor. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know it's quite late for Mabel, right? It's quite late over there.
It's 9 p.m. now.
Okay, I think we should start running because of the time difference. And just before, I know Buchi is the host. Before I give it over to Buchi, let me say this. So we have sections coming up next week. One of the sections coming up next week is Schlumberger Scholarship. I think it's mostly for females. I don't know. I think so, PhD. And at the same time, the person speaking, she's a lecturer from one of the universities in the UK, and she's also using the same opportunity to look for PhD students. So I would advise, if you are interested in the PhD, please do not miss the section. So it's a 2-in-1 section. Then the upper week, we have someone that's going to speak on Maria Curie scholarship. So these are something that are very, very good, but people don't know much about it. And they are less competitive because they are not so well common like other scholarship. And these people are here to tell us about it and give us a guide, because they are also passed over this. So please do not miss these sections. So hosts, please, you can go on.
Yeah, so just to emphasize your point.
Oh, okay, please.
Yeah, to the audience. We have a potential PhD supervisor coming to talk. And
this is your calling.
You need to understand what that means. These are the
Yeah.
people that review scholarship applications. These are the people that review these applications. You know, we are talking here because we are applicants that we are successful. There's a difference between a successful applicant and the reviewer. So this is someone that is on the decision table. So it's good that you join the session and ask those questions so that you get an insight into the reviewer's mindset, how the reviewers are thinking when they're
Yeah,
looking
no,
at
that's true.
it.
That's very true. Yeah.
Even if you're not in the field of whoever is presenting, the presenter will give you that insight into the actual, what are the things that they themselves on the
Look
reviewing
out
end are
for.
looking out for.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Yeah.
So that's the important point that's going to come out of the next, even if you're not interested in Slumberger or you're not interested in doing the PhD with her or whatever,
Yeah.
come and
Yeah.
listen to the viewers talking. Because it's not every time you get the decision makers to open up. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is an important thing. If you can get that's why I think I said this yesterday. If you can never get the mouthpiece of the reviewer or the opinion of the reviewer or the decision maker, always go for that one. It's always an ultimate prize. Because when you understand what are the key deciding factors on the decision table, then you already have like the golden ticket for your application. You know that these are the things that they are looking for. So whatever she's going to say is going to be mostly applicable across the board for future applications to other supervisors, to her colleagues, because she's within their circle. So I'm just saying this to invite everyone on this call. Please, when that webinar comes, try to make yourself available. The recording will be available as usual, but also try to be on the session so you can ask the direct questions from the comment section.
So that when is next week?
Yeah. Next week, Saturday.
I think so. I think so. I think so. Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. So let's just stay tuned to that. So I think we've had a very fruitful session today. Sorry that Charles had to leave before the end, but I believe his presence really made a
No.
very
Yeah.
strong impact
Really
in
did.
what we are
Thank
doing
you so
today.
much, Charles. Thank you for coming. And it was good to see you finally. See you in person. No, not in person. Put a face to the name. Yeah. Am I right? That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was a good one. Yeah, and I think we had a very good audience. I hope you guys got value for the time we've spent together. And for people that will be listening to this video in the recorded version, we also say have a good think about all the content that we've given out. Try to also attend future sessions with us. You know, make yourself available, be open to the learning process so that you can improve yourself. You know, this is not a formal learning stream. It's an informal learning stream, but it's still a learning stream on its own.
Yeah.
So going through webinars like this, there's no exam and there are no marks at the end, but you're actually
Yeah.
gaining knowledge and adding to your portfolio of knowledge. Maybe one day Ejiro will start doing exams at the end of the sessions. I don't.
It's you. It's you. Not me. It's you. I want to go and do my TV show.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and then to Mabel and Ejiro that are still here. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to share the stage with you guys. You know, my
Thank
transport colleagues.
you.
Thanks, Buchi.
My
Yeah,
transport
I'm
colleague.
sure,
I like that word. Transport colleagues.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be doing more things like this in future,
Yeah.
both for the scholarship and
Definitely.
probably in the transport sector as well.
Please
Because,
come. Oh, let's
Yeah.
do transport home because that's our work.
Yes. No, we
That's what
have
we are
to.
yeah,
let's do that
yeah,
one.
yeah. Maybe one day we'll hold a session like this and we'll all talk about the different research we've done and different work we've done.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
All
This one is
together.
Yeah.
start.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, I and Mabel did similar research back in ITS.
Oh,
Tell me
yeah.
about, are you serious? Wow.
Yes, it's
Should I be jealous or not?
Yeah. So it will be good to talk about some of those things, you know. And I've also seen some of the applications of what I did now in the real world going on.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
brilliant.
one of those good things, you know. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have any parting words to the audience before we close tonight.
Yeah, I just want to add this. So I someone asked a question that they wanted the number of Charles. So my advice would be just go and look for him on LinkedIn and send him a message, and from there take it up from there. And if you want to connect with Buchi, I think Buchi is a transport engineer. So it's Mabel, transport engineer. I'm
Yeah.
a planner. I'm policy. I'm a transport planner. I'm not an engineer like them. So, but if you want to connect with them, you can look. That's your name from LinkedIn. So you just search for them. We all went to University of Leeds. Yeah, the Leiden school.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
promo. So I'm a of Leeds, and that's how we met at Commonwealth Scholars also. So please, we are also human being like you. Like people will say in Nigeria, you don't have two heads, you only have one head. So if you can do it, you can do it. So please just it's all about commitment, okay? If we don't keep doing these webinars, you people don't get to know about it, people don't get to get their question
Yeah.
answered. So we are committed, nobody's paying us, it's costing us our time, our data, paying for the platform. So please at least come and learn. Please come and learn and help yourself. So thank you so much. But maybe I'll,
Yeah. Mabel, any parting
I'd
words?
like I would like to say just continue following the webinars. They're very useful and helpful if you follow them, especially the specific ones like the one that was there yesterday for the statement of purpose, because I believe they break it down, like this is what you put in the introduction, you talk about this and that, and you really can't get that from anywhere else. Even if you have someone reviewing your essays, maybe they won't have the time to explain and break it down to you. So even when
yeah.
they're giving you that feedback, you would be a bit lost because you wouldn't understand the context from which they're giving you the feedback. So just keep watching the webinars, and as Ejiro said, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. When we have time, we'll respond and help in any way that we can.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so
Yeah.
on that final note, I would say that you're all very welcome, and thank you to the speakers. Thank you to the audience for being here, for asking your questions, for being part of the discussion. Uh, the future is not too far away.
It is here radio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is here.
the future is not too far away. I'm just saying this because you need to approach some of these issues with a sense of urgency, so
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
don't take this information and go and sleep, and you don't take action. Taking action is very important. There's this mantra that people always say. They say, "Do it scared, do it afraid." You don't need to
Yeah.
have all the information. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to have all the assurance before you do something. Do
Yeah.
it afraid, do it scared. Don't be afraid to fail. Fail, get up, learn, move forward.
Thank you. Learn is important. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
learn,
I
move
think
forward.
just one more thing, always have a notebook when you're watching these webinars. Don't lie to yourself and say you remember what people talk about. I had a
That's
notebook and I look at it from time to time like, oh, okay. I went through a lot, So get a notebook, write down when someone is explaining something, and it just speaks to you. Write it down because the brain will always convince you that you're going to remember something. But when you need it, you forget.
yeah.
So
And just
always write these things down. Yeah.
just like an example now, when we mentioned talking about hosting sections of volunteering, sections on this, I got everything on my note on the phone, because if I said, "Oh, I remember," I might not, but I wrote it down now. I'm doing it for you, not for me. If me that don't need it is writing it down so that we can help you, you that need it, write it down. No, some things,
Yeah.
no, it's might be funny, but some things are so simple. ABC, small steps is what makes the difference.
Yeah.
That's it. Small steps, baby steps. Just keep doing it. Find that you're already there. Like Vicky said, the future is close. I think it's here because how you start to determine the
It's
future.
now.
That's what how you start the whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. I think we should stop
Yeah.
talking. We are talking a lot. So I think we should go
Yeah.
and sleep.
So
It's quite late for
so
maybe.
yeah. So it's already late, and I think we've gone a little bit past the time.
Yeah.
So we would like to end today's session on this note. Take action. I think that's the final takeaway now. Take action. You've done a lot of listening. Now it's your turn to take action before the next session that we'll be having next week. So on this note, I'll say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on the time you're watching this.
I will take action.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
have
I'll take action.
have a wonderful day or night ahead, and we look forward to engaging with you guys once again in the next session. So for now, we say good night and goodbye.
Bye.